The hiss of the zipper echoed through the room, a sound as sharp and final as the slow, inevitable breakdown of our marriage. My wife of 10 years, Amber, smoothed down her blazer, her expression unreadable. Nervousness? Guilt? I wasn't sure. She was heading to Chicago for a 3-day work conference, or at least that's what she told me. Lately, Amber had been distant late nights at the office, hushed phone calls, a new perfume lingering in the air like a ghost to someone I didn't recognize. The signs were there, small fractures in the foundation of our marriage, but I had refused to see them. I loved Amber with a desperation I wasn't proud of, convincing myself that her behavior was due to stress or exhaustion. Anything but the truth. That night, as I tucked our daughter, Lily, into bed, unease curled in my stomach. Something felt wrong. When I returned to our bedroom, Amber was gone, but her suitcase remained half open on the bed, taunting me. A gut instinct I couldn't ignore urged me to look inside. Nestled between her neatly folded clothes was her iPad. My hands trembled as I powered it on, guilt warring with suspicion. The screen lit up to an open email. Can't wait for Chicago, baby. 3 days just with you, Wyatt. A colleague. The air left my lungs in a rush. My world tilted. Chicago wasn't a business. Tri-Pit was a getaway, a rendezvous. My Amber, the woman I had built a life with, was having an affair. Rage surged. Hot and blinding, but beneath it was something colder, calculated. I wouldn't scream or throw things. My revenge wouldn't be reckless. It would be precise, devastating. I spent the next few hours printing out every message, every incriminating detailed, whispered promises, the future they planned without me. I stacked the evidence neatly inside her suitcase, right between her silk scarf and her favorite dress. On top of the pile, I placed a framed photo of Lily, her innocent eyes staring back, a silent reminder of what Amber had just thrown away. The next morning, I played my part. I made coffee, packed Lily's lunch, kissed Amber goodbye. See you Monday, she said, her voice carrying a nervous tremor. Love you. Have a good trip, I replied, my voice eerily calm. She smiled, a brittle, fragile thing, before driving away. I watched her car disappear around the corner. Then I picked up my phone and dialed a number. Hello? Wyatt's wife answered, her voice cautious. We barely knew each other. I think you need to see something, I said. Come over whenever you're ready. 2 hours later, she sat on my couch, clutching the printed messages, her face drained of color. She didn't speak. Neither did I. We were strangers, bound by betrayal, casualties of Amber and Wyatt's selfish choices. Sunday evening. A text from Amber. We need to talk. It wasn't a request. When she walked through the door, her face was pale, her eyes darting. Then she froze. Wyatt's wife sat on our sofa, Lily playing quietly at her feet. And there, beside the suitcase she had left behind, lay the scattered printouts of her affair. The blood drained from her face. Her knees buckled. She collapsed. What followed was a storm of tears, desperate apologies, and hollow excuses. But there was nothing left to salvage. Wyatt's wife, once shattered, now carried a quiet steel in her voice. She packed up her things, took their children, and left Wyatt a voicemail sharp, final, merciless. Amber, stripped of her lies, could do nothing but beg. But the damage was done. The trust we had built over a decade was irreparable. Lily slept through the destruction of our family. And in the morning, as I watched her peaceful face, sorrow crept in, not just for what I had lost, but for her, for the family she would now grow up without. But beneath the grief, a flicker of resolve took root. I filed for divorce. Amber moved out, a hollow version of herself. Wyatt, abandoned and disgraced, fled the city with his reputation in ruins. The months that followed were agonizing, a blur of custody agreements, sleepless nights, and wounds that refused to heal. But I focused on Lily, on being the father she needed. I went to therapy, rebuilt my life, and piece by painful piece, I put myself back together. Years later, I am no longer the man I was, the trusting, naive husband who thought love could conquer anything. That version of me is gone, replaced by someone stronger, wiser. The scars remain reminders of what I endured, but they don't define me. I have learned to forgive not for Amber or Wyatt, but for myself. 'Cause forgiveness is not about excusing the past. It is about letting go. And I have finally let go. The pain may linger, a dull ache in my chest, but it no longer owns me.